Don't forget to check out and grab your copy of our 2 newly released books, Football: A Love Story and What Did Football Teach Me? These books feature over 100 stories from current and former coaches, players, executives, and entertainers from across the football landscape, describing what got them involved in the game, what they love about it, and what life lessons the game taught them. You can find your copy or order your copy from our website at footballgameplan.com/books. Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our 2015 preview of the Hawaii Bowl between the Cincinnati Bearcats and the San Diego State Aztecs. Let's start this video off by taking a look at my keys to victory. Starting with San Diego State in this ball game, I think early stops defensively help kill any momentum that Cincinnati will be looking to build with their new starting quarterback, Hayden Moore. So getting those early 3-and-outs, those early stops in the beginning of the ball game can help this team out as a whole. I also believe defensively it's a strength versus strength battle. They're going to have to win on the perimeter versus these outstanding wide receivers of Cincinnati. They go 5 deep at that position, and they're going to really test the limits and the depth of San Diego State's secondary. And I also believe they have to stay mentally alert. The Bearcats will come in and try to go for the jugular early in the ball game to get Hayden Moore into a groove. I think that's going to be something that they're going to have to watch throughout this contest if they want to have a chance. And for the Bearcats in this ball game, I believe Hayden Moore, the quarterback, has to go out and just have fun. You're playing in a bowl game. You're in Hawaii. Don't get all caught up in the stress of replacing a guy in Gunnar Kill, who was the longtime starter, a successful guy. Just go out there, have fun, and keep your offense on pace. Now, defensively, it's about setting the edge and making sure Donnell Pumphrey doesn't get to the outside, because if he gets to the outside, it's going to be a foot race, and he can win that foot race more often than not. And going back to the offensive side of the football, it's about staying ahead of the chains. That's how you get Hayden Moore into a groove early in the ball game. Having those early successes could help out the Bearcats as a whole. With all that said, I do like San Diego State in this ball game. I think they will have success running the football. We know that coming in, but I think the biggest key will be how they play in the secondary. I think they will do a great job in slowing down the Bearcats' passing attack. That secondary, I believe, matches up very well versus Cincinnati, so look for them to frustrate Hayden Moore throughout the course of this ball game.
Now, you would be surprised to know that it wasn't Houston, it wasn't Memphis, it wasn't even South Florida that was number 1 in the AAC. It was Cincinnati, number 1 in the AAC in total offense. However, Cincinnati was dead last in total defense. In comes San Diego State and their powerhouse running back, Don Pumphrey, 1,500 plus yards, and his backup Chase Price with 940 yards. That's going to be a very tall task for a team that gives up a multitude of yards in a game. I don't know if Cincinnati's offense is going to be able to keep pace with their lack of defense. And so I'm going to lean towards San Diego State in this one, but by a coin flip. It should be a high-scoring, entertaining bowl game in Hawaii.
My X factor for San Diego State is going to be Donnell Pumphrey. He's a guy I really like. Over 1,900 all-purpose yards. He's got 1,500 yards rushing and about 400 yards receiving. And this is a guy that could do it all. 19 touchdowns. He's a factor whenever he touches the football, whether it be on jet sweeps, whether it be running from the slot, running in between the tackles, running the stretch plays. He is a guy that could do everything that you want out of a player on the football field, especially on the offensive side of things. So Donnell Pumphrey is my X factor for San Diego State. I do have San Diego State winning this football game. I just think that Donnell Pumphrey is too much of a weapon for Cincinnati. They don't have anyone to match up with him, and I think that Pumphrey's going to have a really good game. And remember, folks, he's one of 2 San Diego State running backs to ever run for over 4,000 yards. So he's a factor. I'll go ahead and take San Diego State in this game.
Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Don Pumphrey, running back out of San Diego State. I think that he's going to go to the next level. Would be an early entry, but this guy has done great things at San Diego State, and there's with good reason, as he's had some good blocking up front with guys like Pierce Slater, the offensive tackle, and Darrell Green, their guard, as well as a guy who plays in front of him, a former walk-on that does play the way that guys want them to at the fullback position. That's Dakota Gordon. So watch out for what they have to offer on the offensive side of the ball. And let's not sleep on the Kentucky transfer, a former Kentucky player, Max Smith at quarterback, who will get some looks because of the way that he's built, his size as well as his arm strength. Now on the offensive side of the ball for Cincinnati, it's all pass and go. They have a few receivers that really will get some looks. Guys like Chris Moore, Shaq Washington, who's a little bit of a smaller, scatty guy at 5'8", about 175. Mikael McKay, a bigger body wide receiver. He's 6'4", 200-plus pounds. On the defensive side of the ball, each team gets a guy who's going to get a look. J.J. Whitaker, cornerback out of San Diego State, who's going to be tasked with trying to slow down that Cincinnati passing attack. And Silverberry Mohan, defensive end out of Cincinnati. He's more of a Russian-type guy, so he might get some looks as well. I have not liked what Cincinnati has been putting up as of late. Been blown out a few times and lost some close games as well. I think San Diego State pulls this one off. They just have too much firepower on offense, in my opinion.